Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my labour story. I used to love watching these when I was pregnant with Camilla, just to hear all the different stories and the long labours, the quick labours, the early labours, the late labours and all that sort of thing. So I thought I'd share my labour story, even though Camilla is already 7.5 months, a bit late to the party, but that's okay. So I had a very quick labour and an early labour. So I was 37 weeks and 5 days, I think it was, so quite early. And I think my labour went for about 6 hours altogether, so quite quick, and it came on very fast. So I actually had a scare on New Year's Eve. So she was born on the 4th of Jan, so 5 days before she was born I had a scare. Well, not a scare, but I thought I was in labour. So I had just weird, like, I don't know, I've never, given birth before, so I don't know what contractions are going to feel like. I don't know what's going to happen. So I just had these weird pains, like tightening pains, and I had diarrhea as well. I kind of felt like poo pains, very TMI. So I called the hospital and they're like, come in, we'll monitor you, see what's going on. So I went in, stayed there for about 3 or 4 hours on New Year's Eve. Riveting. So I think we got home at like 8 or 9 p.m, just before the 9 p.m. fireworks, because we actually lived on the harbour, and we actually couldn't get into our street because our street is all closed because at the bottom of our street was a big park where everyone watched the fireworks at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. So we actually couldn't get back into our street, so we actually couldn't stay at our house that night. We had to stay at a friend's house, which was actually close to the hospital, just in case I did go into labour. So we had to stay there because if I went back to our house and I did go into labour, it would be a mission to get out of our street. So that was quite interesting. But yeah, so we stayed at our friend's house. We didn't go into labour that night, but they did say I was 2 centimetres dilated at that point. But they said you can stay at that for like 2-3 weeks, like it doesn't mean you're going into labour soon. I was like, oh, damn it. But yeah, I did everything and anything to bring on labour. I was just so uncomfortable. I was so swollen, like I had so much water retention, it was insane. My belly was just so stretched. Everyone's like, you are having a big baby, and I was like, oh great. Yeah, my feet were swollen. I couldn't walk for any longer than like 10 minutes without my feet just aching. So yeah, I was very uncomfortable. I couldn't sleep properly. I couldn't get up off the lounge properly. So I was like, I want this baby out. So I tried a few things. I tried chili one meal, but I can't do chili, so I gave up on that. I did 2 long walks a day, and like lots of stairs, even though my feet would kill up and they'd be like balloons. I did not care. I was like, I want to walk this baby out. I was like all waddling around. And what else did I do? I had raspberry leaf tea from 26 weeks, and I bounced on my exercise ball like every minute of the day. Like every time you'd find me, I'd just be bouncing on my ball. But yeah, so 5 days after that, or 4 days actually, yeah, 4 days after that, I went into labour. I woke up on the Saturday morning. We actually had a wedding that Saturday, and I was dreading it because it was a 40-degree day and I was heavily pregnant. I was like, I really can't be bothered to go to this wedding and just be uncomfortable. So Camilla must have been like, all right, Mum, I'm coming out. So I didn't have to go to the wedding. So the Saturday morning I woke up at 5:30 and just got up, walked to the toilet, and halfway to the toilet I was like, oh my God. And my husband's like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know, like I just thought it was the poo pains from the New Year's Eve. Like I just, oh no, it's just like poo pains. I just think I just need to do a poo. Got on the toilet and they were so strong, and now coming every 2 minutes. So they came on very fast. So I had no like early labor, which, yeah, was interesting. But I was hesitant to go to the hospital as well. I was like, oh no, like I'm overreacting. Like I've still another 2 weeks. Like I just didn't want to have to go there and get sent home again. So I was like, no. And then it got to the point where I couldn't talk. I was screaming and screaming. And so it started at 5:30. I called my mum at 6:30. She's like, call the hospital now. Like you need to go into hospital. If they're coming every 2 minutes, you need to go. And I was like, okay. I called the hospital, and as I was on the phone, I'm having a contraction. I'm like, I could not talk. They're like, okay, you need to come in. Luckily the hospital is only like 5 minutes down the road. And having contractions in the car is not fun. I was like, could not sit. I was like, screaming the car down, couldn't walk into the hospital. They're like, do you want a wheelchair? I was like, I can't sit. They're like, oh, like just thinking I'm in early labor because, you know, it's my first kid and I've still got, you know, I'm 37 weeks and 5 days. They're like, oh, just go into the waiting room. I was like, I'm having this baby. They're like, no, someone will be with you in a minute. And I was screaming. Like my husband's like, your eyes are going in the back of your head. You were just screaming and screaming. So they then took me into the examination room. They checked and they're like, oh, okay, you're like 7-8 centimeters dilated. And I was like, all right, you're having this baby today and we're getting you into a room right now. I was like, okay. So that was like 7:45, I think, or 7:30. And I was like, just get me drugs, just get me any drug. I want this pain to stop. Like it was just not fun. So they gave me the gas straight away. I felt like that did nothing for me. Originally I was like, oh, I want to get in the water and, you know, do pain-free, but no, I was like, just get me any and every drug possible. So yeah, they did the gas. That just did not work for me. And thank the Lord, like the anaesthetist that was doing the epidurals had just started his shift, and I was the first, like I asked straight away when I got into the hospital, and I was the first on his list, and there was like 7 other women waiting. So like, you are very lucky. So he came right in on 8 o'clock and gave me an epidural, and you have to stay really still and all that, and like just like, no, when you're having a contraction. And I'll be lying on the bed and I'm like screaming. I was like, I need to push, like I need to push. Like I just felt so much pressure down there. If you've had a baby before, it just feels like you need to poo. Like, you know that feeling you get when you need to poo? That's what it feels like. The head is like about to come out. I was like, I can feel the head coming out. They're like, no. I was like, I need to push. They're like, no. Here's the epidural. Gave me the epidural, and it actually only worked on the right side and didn't work on the left side, which was actually good. Like I still could feel a little bit of contraction, but not as bad as they were. And like when I was pushing, like I could still feel the sensation. Like I could still feel the contraction and push, because this whole side was numb, so I couldn't even like hold this leg up. But my husband held the right leg and I could actually hold the left leg. So when I was pushing, I don't know, it was good that I could feel the left side. So yeah, it got to like, I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock or something. And they checked me and they're like, oh yeah, you're 10 centimeters dilated. And I was like, I feel like I was 9 centimeters dilated when they gave me the epidural, because I felt like I needed to push so bad. So they got, you know, they get everything ready and they're like, okay, you can start pushing soon. I think I started pushing at 11. She came in, I think I pushed for like 50 minutes, 45, 50 minutes. Well, no, she was born at 12, so I must have been an hour, or I started at 11:15, because she was born right on 12 o'clock at lunchtime. And my husband actually filmed, like I can't put this on YouTube because it's like full on, the baby, like Cami coming out down there, and it is the most insane thing I have ever watched. Like they asked if I wanted a mirror, but when I was pushing, I had to close my eyes. So I was like, no, like that's not gonna happen. Like I need to concentrate and close my eyes when I push. So my husband actually filmed it, and I've watched it so many times and cried so many times. It's insane what our bodies can do, and like just how it all works. My husband was in, like, because at one point her head was just hanging out, and like obviously like she hasn't fully come out, so she's just sitting there. My husband was like, is this normal? Like, what is going on? And it would just sit there for a few minutes because I was waiting for an next contraction to come. But it is the most incredible experience I have ever gone through. It was very quick and fast. They do say that epidural slows down your labor, but I did not care. Like, it was going way too fast, and it was just full throttle, like straight away. There's just no easing into it. So yeah, it was incredible, and I actually cannot wait to go through that again. Just meeting her for the first time was something else. I didn't know the gender of her, so they actually didn't tell me when she came out. They, you know, placed her on my chest, cleaned her up a little bit, and I think it was 5 minutes later, like, oh, have you checked, like, if it's a boy or if it's a girl? I was like, no, I actually haven't. I lifted the leg up and I was like, oh my god, it's a girl. And my mum was in the room too, and she was dying for a girl because she's got 2 boys and I'm the only girl. And also my mum's side have got 9 boy cousins. I've got 9 boy cousins, I'm the only girl, so they're like, we want a girl so bad. So we got the girl. So she was in tears, and so was I, because I just thought I was going to have all boys. So I was just over the moon. So was my husband. But it's the best moment. Like, seriously, everyone goes, oh, like, it's the best day of your life. It actually is. Like, holy moly. I watched that video so many times and burst into tears. Like, that is the first time I met her, and she's now 7.5 months old. She is full of personality, and she's like my best friend, and oh, it's the best. But yeah, so that was my quick and early labor story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. When I do have another one, I do want to film, like, do a birth vlog. I think that would be really cool. My husband, like, wanted to film, said, oh, like, let's film the birth, like, for a birth vlog if you were doing YouTube. But at that point I wasn't doing YouTube. I was actually going to start it when I fell pregnant with Cami. I actually did, like, you know, the live pregnancy test videos and all that sort of thing, but then just didn't continue on doing it, which is a shame, because I would have loved to have the whole birth documented. But yeah, so my next baby will be documented, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my labor story. If you did, please give it a like, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye.